Hello, Jordan here. It's been a while. Both me and my brother have been pretty busy, so we haven't really been able to, make any content. But I'm on vacation, so I figured I'd make some today. Um, and my main focus will be on Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes and a brief analysis of that and everything behind it. Um, Also, quick plug. I do some music on the side, and I'm putting a link below. So if you want to check it out, go for it. I'd be very appreciative of that. But you didn't come here for the brief exposition, and you didn't come here for the shameless plug. So let's get to the main event. So, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, or the full title Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, is part of the larger game. See, Metal Gear Solid 5 is actually going to be split into two games, for those who didn't know. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. This is a bold move on Konami's part, but one that has paid off like you wouldn't believe. I originally took issue with it, and well, hell, I still take issue with it. And I'll tell you what that issue is. So far, right? We've all of us who've played Metal Gear Solid, we're used to, having some beginning part of the game, the prologue, and then the main game, right? But see, the prologue's always been included, Like, you never had to buy it. Here it's different. Very, very different. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it was $30 for Ground Zeroes if you got a hard copy, and $20 for a digital copy. I got the digital copy months after it came out, discounted on the PSN. I've been more interested in the PSN. It's been a while since I've actually gone to a video game store. Last time I did was December last year at Skyrim, and since then I've been looking at the PSN and getting stuff on there. I had Final Fantasy VIII, and played and beat that, did all that good stuff, and I was going to start Chrono Trigger, but I came across this, Ground Zeroes, so I contemplated it, and after a while, I decided to go ahead and get it. Because the truth remains that, yes, they set a dangerous precedent by having, a crucial part of the game be released separately from the main game, but the truth remains, they already did that, and me not buying it isn't actually going to help. And it's true that mindset could spread and, help out, but really, it's going to happen one way or another. And other people are going to see this, and they'll probably try to do the same, but if nothing else, it was really high quality. Still makes me concerned about the future, but seriously, high quality. Now, in here, you play as Big Boss, and it takes place right after Peace Walker. And so you're infiltrating a base, and it takes you through that base, and you can do all sorts of things, rescue prisoners, and, the typical Metal Gear Solid stuff. But it's a very different type of game, very different kind of feel. For those who have played, you might find the difficulty a little ramped up, and for those who haven't, you're kind of in for a world of hurt there. Now, this may say there's going to be a little spoilers here and there, but not too much, because, a lot wasn't covered within the actual game. But, so, one of the things with Metal Gear Solid is they've always built on the games before, they've always added something new to it. The control scheme might change a bit here and there, but they've always built on what made them successful. They focused on a little bit at a time, made it successful, and then built on that. And Metal Gear Solid 5 is no exception. It continues the trend. The CQC has been revamped, and pleasantly so. You could have all sorts of fun things going on. Before, right? Yeah, using someone as a human shield, not something that you're new to, but being able to actually pick them up, over your shoulder, is a little different. Because before, right, you could always drag them along, but here you can actually pick them up over your shoulder, and you could use them as a shield that way too. And you could actually throw them places. Now, for me, I've done a couple things with that. I've thrown them into rivers.
I mean, well, off a cliff into like the ocean to hide the body, which is incredibly useful. But it's like, well, who's gonna search the ocean, right? And that's not all. I've actually picked up a soldier and threw that soldier another soldier, and I can't tell you how fun that is. Yeah, but it is difficult. Like compared to other Metal Gear Solid games, but like for me, it's fun. Like no radar so far. You have to actually look around, and the camera you could actually it's 360. You can go all around for it, so that is different. Like the scope at which they did that, and the enemies are inventive. They retaliate better. They're well coordinated. It's reminiscent of how they were in 2, only you're outside, so it's harder to lead them into some traps, but you can do some crazy stuff with it. Now, one time, right, there was a mission, like a side mission, and that is one of the things that helps pad out everything, but no, pad out isn't a good word. It has a negative connotation. It's one of the things that fills out, like, Ground Zeroes. You have the main mission, which will take you, like, 2 to 3 hours to complete, which isn't a lot, especially for the price tag, but it has a bunch of side missions that could add some fun to it. On one of the side missions, you had to destroy some turrets. And I went in, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go snipe some people. I'll snipe them from a distance, sneak in, and they might notice. But if I get the 2 people on top, it'll be a lot harder to notice, right? So I got one of them, but then the other one came out, and he had a rocket launcher. So he takes the rocket launcher and he fires at me, and I think it's important to note that I myself was on a tower. So he sent the rocket launcher from his tower to mine, and he was like ways off, but he got my tower, actually blew it up, sending me off of it as it collapsed to the ground. They have a little bit more destructibility here. You note for those of you who play, Metal Gear Solid has not really been known for the destructible environments. But it's a little bit more so here. So that was pretty interesting, and also they've added a dash option, which is something I feel like was needed in the franchise. Because yes, you're sneaking around, you want to be slow, you want to be stealthy, but sometimes it just doesn't work out how you want it to work out. You get caught, and you want to get away sometimes. So yeah. And I think that's really nice that they had it like that. So Big Boss is like really fast there, and you can get away. Or, you can do other things with it, you can traverse the area a lot quicker. And like I said before, the CQC is ramped up. Like you can actually take on multiple people, and if you're near something in an environment, you can actually use it for yourself. Like, I mean, there was one time where I had like a couple people, they had actually found me and cornered me, and I knocked one of them into a pipe, and I threw the other one against a crate, and cursed on them. But that's not the point. But yeah, so it's interesting. You can use the environment to help you in your kills, and they don't leave you completely without a paddle, They don't leave you up Shit's Creek without a paddle or anything. There is a reflex mode that you can play with there. If your enemy is going to notice you but hasn't actually seen you, it'll let you know, and you can end the threat soon, but it kind of messes with the way you fire. Anyway, it is pretty interesting. You could do a lot, and there's another side mission where it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. You had to rescue somebody, and I thought, you were gonna just sneak into the base and rescue that person, but no, it actually got pretty awesome. You're talking to Master Miller, like some of you know who that is. Big Boss's right-hand man here in this game, and he actually says there's no time, and you have to ambush the base, so you do it through the helicopter, and it gets crazy, and it's pretty great. And as far as the main mission is concerned, you're getting a feel for the game, its gameplay, and so far, it was pretty fun. It ended pretty short, and you definitely want to know more, and at the end of it, the base gets blown up, and this is back in 1974,
75, that area, and then later on, the Phantom Pain, when that comes out, it'll take place in 1984, 9 years after what happened. Big Boss wakes up from a coma, and we kind of go from there. And I'm definitely curious to see what they do with that. And interesting to note, though, so far it seems like they're trying to be more grounded in reality, which is, a little different for the series. But of course, it's Kojima, so there'll be something crazy. Speaking of Kojima, he actually does show up in the game. Like that said mission where you're rescuing somebody, you're rescuing Kojima, you just don't know it till the end. And it's pretty hilarious. He's like, what took you so long? But I'm looking forward to the story because it seems like every time they focus on Big Boss, it's just some really crazy ass story, and you're kind of curious to see where it goes. And within this particular game, you already see that he's not exactly a good guy. I mean, he stores a nuke in his organization, MSF, But anyway, the visuals are amazing. And I have it on PS3 because I'm not going to bother to get a PS4 until more games come out that I want. Anyway, the visuals were stunning. The sound is good as usual. Music was nice. The gameplay was really, really fun. And it definitely still added more to an already great formula, because in Metal Gear Solid 4 they added a lot, and that was fun. But here, they added even more. I'm looking forward to it, and this is just the first part of it. I want to see how far they take it in the Phantom Pain, and I'm definitely curious about the story, because there was a trailer that came out a while back, like the most recent trailer, I think. You see a bunch of stuff that takes place in the Phantom Pain, and you get kind of curious, because I could have sworn it seemed like the big show that you see in Metal Gear Solid 2. And definitely curious to see who Quiet is. Like, I mean, she's like, she's an assassin that doesn't talk. Reminiscent of Sniper Wolf, only with the whole not talking thing. Curious about a lot. The villain doesn't really get my attention too much. Like, he's got like the skull face, not sure who he is. But it definitely makes you really, really want the Phantom Pain. And unfortunately, the Phantom Pain isn't really due out till like the Q1 of next year, 2015. So you have to wait. But if this is the way of the future, coming out with parts of the game before the main game comes out, and there's no avoiding this, then at least they put in some high quality for it. But I saw no point to continue my whole not getting it when I clearly wanted it. So it was a start, and the side missions are pretty fun, and you get to experiment with all the new stuff a bit more. And so I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I have to wait longer. We all have to wait longer than we want to. But yeah, so far it's been pretty damn fun, and the amount of stuff you can do is just great. And firing her with chopper, can't knock that. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. I'm still playing it on the side missions. And interesting to note, I beat the main mission, then decided to take a little break and go back to the side missions because I wanted to try Chrono Trigger. Surprisingly, not actually a fan. I mean, it did a lot well, but story-wise, I just couldn't get with it. It was too generic and full of RPG cliches, but I really did think that the time travel was cool. I wish they did a little bit more with that, if it makes sense, but yeah, I mean, that was cool. The visuals were pretty good, even still today. Different, but good. Also, they took some risks, so that was good, but after I spent quite a while on it, I went back to the side missions and just was stunned by the amount of stuff you could do. But that being said, I still think it's a bad idea to come out with parts of the game for the main game, especially when it seems like they'll be a year apart. But I'm looking forward to Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and I definitely intend to do something on that when it comes out. We had another video that I'm going to try to upload. We had it a while back, so I'll try to get that up. I'll try to do some stuff here and there, and if both me and my brother have the time, we'll try to get some more stuff up. But yeah, so that was my look at Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zero today. I hope you all enjoyed and you found some information. And if you really, really want it, I'd go ahead and buy it. But if you could afford to wait, I mean, there's no problem with that too, because it is bad that they did it like that. But it's going to happen anyway, so don't punish yourself because they're being obnoxious. But anyway, yeah, that was the review today. Thanks again for listening. Keep on crashing the mode.